we are really appreciative that you guys got here on time. When I came in the afternoon, I was extremely worried, especially since there's work going on at the bridge that leads here. So we're really, really excited that you guys are here. And without further ado, I will ask Karthik, our chairman, to kick off the evening.
So, well, good evening folks and welcome. As Joe said, I am shocked. Friday evening, 6 p.m., Mumbaikers coming for a social impact conference. Wow. Something definitely is happening in this CSR. So, it's a very tight program. We've got 6 outstanding NGOs presenting. So, Joe and I just want to set the stage and kick it off. So, when we started this about 8 months back, we decided to set the framework. We defined the how, the why, the how, and the what. So let me start by defining the why. Why did IITians start this IIT for IIT? And it was a very simple answer, that India's social sector has not been able to scale. So for instance, if you take primary and secondary education, the size of children in K to 12 in public schools is about 160 million. Our largest NGO in that sector touches 1.6 million children. So that's 1%. And that's the largest. So something obviously is not working. Hence, I think one of the reasons for IIT for IIT start is, can we break this so-called 1% glass ceiling and take it to 10%, which is what we are saying in the beginning for national scale.
And so, why do we have you here today, right? I mean, you'll have come in here quite expectantly, but we've got sinister reasons to bring you to this session. And it's twofold. As we went around and had our conversations, we found great resonance with this need to build scale in the social sector. And that was very encouraging for us. We didn't know whether and how the sector would respond. And one of the reasons many of you are here today is because you have found resonance with the need to create this whole element of scale. And the second, as Karthik said, we need you to become active participants in helping us shape the how, helping us figure out how we can break this glass ceiling. Because we are not pretending we do not know the answers, right? But we know that through a journey of discovery that involves you, we will figure that out together. And that's why you are here today. This today is not an event, it's the start of a conversation. And we want to just kick off that conversation today and involve you in this journey of discovery. So Karthik, what about the how?
So whilst the why, when we started this about 8 months back, was crystal clear to us, we did not actually have the answer on the how, just as Joe said. So we said the way to do it is, instead of us coming up with solutions, since we are coming in fresh from the outside, is why don't we learn through a discovery process through the sector participants themselves. So what has emerged over the last 8 months of this journey is that to create a sector to scale, we need to have programs in the sector which have been designed for scale. These 6 programs here today, which you will hear from, we believe that they have embedded key design elements which has enabled them to now be ready to take them to the next level. We again did not define these 5 elements. This again emerged from the discovery process by us immersing ourselves actively into the sector ecosystem by talking to the practitioners, the funders, and of course the experts.
So Karthik talks about 5 design elements that are required for programs that can be nationally scaled. So what are those 5? The first was a a very interesting one. Sustainability has become a big question. And we found sustainability is only possible if programs deliver with the community in mind, not individuals. Because when you deliver with the community in mind, the community starts to adopt the solution, and then over time it becomes sustainable. Else, if you're just working with a bunch of individuals, it's a very transactional element, and over time it dies out on its own. That was the first design element that emerged. The second is the leverage of the government system. You're not trying to independently build something that doesn't leverage a capacity that already exists in our country. And we found that programs had started to figure out how to leverage policy, how to leverage infrastructure, how to leverage resources, how to leverage access. And then we also realized that they chose not to leverage operating expense. They stayed away from certain things, but they embraced others. The third thing that we figured out is that these programs are leveraging the community members in their execution process. And that's a very, very beautiful way to get buy-in. So if you have community members who are actually part of your organizational executional team, they understand what's happening in the grassroots, and you get buy-in, and you keep your costs really low, because these are locals who are able to be used not necessarily as full-time employees. Even though they're regularly part of your program, they may be spending 3-4 hours a day or 5-6 hours a week. The fourth is setting up a methodology that can be replicated nationally. They figured out that they need a methodology in place that can be taken elsewhere. And whether they do that methodology directly or they figure out partnerships to move it across, they figured out a methodology, is the fourth thing. And the fifth that we've recognized in these programs as we looked at them is the ability to power this methodology using technology. The technology may not necessarily be in place right now, but the methodology can be powered because they want and they need to run that entire intervention at scale. And these are the 5 elements that are represented by the 6 programs that are here today. These are the 5 elements that exist in programs that are designed for scale. And now that we've kind of understood the how to these programs, what exactly are we going to look at?
So finally, the what. As Joe mentioned, so what is the objective of bringing all of you here today? It is just a first step to start a conversation towards involving all of you here in this journey of figuring out what to do to deliver national scale. Each of these 6 programs, as Joe has mentioned, will showcase for an impressive immersion presentation key aspects of the design which embed these 5 principles described. This, we hope, will set the stage for the kind of programs we all need to partner with and help them scale nationally, thus enabling us to break this glass ceiling of that 1% and grow it 10x to 10%.
And which is why, as part of the design aspect of today itself, to involve you in that what, each of you should have, and if you don't, please get one, a blank sheet of paper. It's currently absolutely blank. Why is it with you? We want you to capture what hits you immediately as you listen to a program. It could be an idea, it could be a question, it could be a clarification. As you think about this journey of building to national scale and you hear these programs, we want you to put that down. We don't want you to think twice. Use that sheet of paper and capture it as it strikes you. Don't let that moment slip away. And we promise you that we will bring that back together and we will use it in our own process of figuring out the what, of how we can all together help create national scale. Programs like this who can design themselves to do that. And another aspect of today, we want this to be a very immersive journey. So we've deliberately chosen not to have Q&A. We want you to go through a very immersive process with 6 phenomenal programs. We provide you an intermission in between. Each half has got a program from all of our three verticals: education, healthcare, and livelihoods. And then there's an intermission, and then we have the second half. So capture some of those questions as well, and use the intermission and use the end of the evening to have the conversations. Each of these programs have brought the senior most leadership here, the chairman, the CEOs, their investor community, and people at work and can understand and answer your questions. So use that opportunity. They've come all the way here to be part of today and engage you in this conversation. So do stay on, past the sessions, and engage with them. But during the evening, please use your sheet of paper. That's a very, very important step to make sure this is not an event, but the start of a conversation. So we will start right now. Thank you, Karthik.
I think you should tell them. Just to let you know that we have an intermission after the first three presentations, and again we were told that people in Bombay around 7:30 feel a bit thirsty, so beverages will be served, including beer and wine, and I think this came first. So stay, don't run away after the first. You don't have to go anywhere else.
We deserve applause, sir.